hear you very soft,
Yeah, that's
Joey.
because the clapping.
No,
Yeah,
in general. Compared to Ralph, you're soft.
I'm soft anyway,
I'm
so
I'm super hard.
you're super. Wow, new record. Not
um,
even more than a minute.
So,
10
okay,
seconds.
shameless plug. Onlyfans.com/Ralph from Bassjackers.
Yeah,
There's
exactly,
there's nudes.
exactly.
Uh,
How's you
Uh,
guys been?
good.
I
Yeah,
think this sums it up.
yeah. The sun is up or sums it up.
No, this sums it up. I'm holding a thumbs up right now.
Oh, nice. Where are you right now, Ralph?
I'm in my second home with a big ass bee behind me.
A bee?
In Spain. Yeah, there's a bee flying here. Or a wasp, I don't know,
A
one of
bee
the
or a
two.
wasp?
The waspinator. Or how's it
Yeah.
called? Wasp man.
How's the weather over there? Because I heard it's not that great.
It's really great.
Hmm. What's the temperature?
I'm sitting here in my shorts and a t-shirt on and my cool loafers. And no, it's like 24, 25 degrees. We did have some rain this morning, but for the rest this week, I've had nothing but sunshine. I've been in the sea and in the pool, and was up on my surfboard, and life is good.
Guys, a
Nice.
tough life.
Tough life, yeah.
How about you, Jay?
Yeah, I have been doing good. We just survived Amsterdam Dance event, which was very fun. Um, yeah, I'm very happy to be back in the studio because all that talking about
Bullshit.
talking about music is just boring. I want to make music, man. So
Yeah. How did you like it?
I liked it a lot. It was fun to yeah. I realized like in COVID that a part of my friends are DJs, because like I have friends at home, but also DJ friends who I usually not see often, maybe on a festival, but now I don't play that much festival. So then it's like it's very fun to see everybody during ADE. And yeah, I did three little shows, which is I think the perfect amount. And yeah, it was just very fun. I don't know. I just talked to a lot of people and saw friends, and yeah, I'm kind of. It was kind of relaxed. I don't know. I was busy, but not too busy.
Yeah,
And we had
same.
this event with this Joey guy, and it's like a
Tough
lunch,
interviewer.
and there was this DJ called Danik or something.
Danikske.
No, but that our event, artist coaching event, was very fun. I think
Yeah.
I had a show after, otherwise I would have stayed longer because there was a lot of fun.
You stayed
Yeah,
till the end, right?
yeah, till the end. But then, of course, then the mingle starts,
Mm,
and before that was the munch.
true.
So,
Uh,
and
true.
also this whole week, last whole week, I heard a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I listened to the podcast." I
Hmm.
think at least like 20 people, which is like a lot from,
20.
well, yeah, something like that. Like,
That
yeah,
doubles
no,
our
listen to the
listeners.
podcast. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, good week.
Okay, okay.
Good week.
You know what's funny?
That's cool to hear.
Yeah, it was really fun, Ralph.
Hello, listeners. Hello, listeners.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I wish I could have been there, but yeah, I had to be here. But I saw Danik was a great replacement,
Yeah.
and I saw the photos. It all looked really cool. The
Yeah,
munch looked cool, and the mingle too.
was really fun. I actually just emailed the venue to reserve the date for next year, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
We
Yeah.
need a bigger
Hey,
venue, though. We need a
Well,
bigger
I did.
venue.
I did ask them like, what are the upscale versions? As in, this was kind of the max that we could handle there. Like they said we could go up to 50,
Mm.
but I immediately said like, I don't know if that would work, because that would mean an extra table, and uh, I don't know. It's
an extra table, man. That's quite a hassle.
yeah, in that space, it's quite a hassle. It's not too much, but we'll see. But what you just mentioned was something
I
I wanted.
didn't like the podcast that good, man. It was a little bit boring.
Yeah, that's because
I
you.
missed me. No,
Yeah.
I actually liked it a lot, and I listened to the most part of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing yet, but it's really cool to have the interaction, the questions, and
Huh.
We
it's a
got
cool
some good
setup.
questions.
Yeah.
We got some really good questions.
Yeah.
The questions were better than the answers.
Exactly. I often didn't even have an answer, but it's like it. Some of the questions are also like, should I do this or should I do that? And it's like you can basically make a point for both
Yeah.
options in that case. So it's like, yeah, if we had all the answers, we wouldn't be doing this podcast, and we would be like Ralph,
Yep.
just
Sitting
chilling
in
in
Spain
our second house in Spain.
with a bee.
Yeah, and also with a beer. Did you say?
Yeah, with a bee behind you.
Oh, no, I thought you said with a beer. Well, you're
Yeah.
actually right.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey, cerveza.
I just oh, there he is.
Mm.
Like I saw Lion Harris in the chat says, "Where's the signature San Miguel?" But it's what is it? Estrella.
Oh, it's San Miguel.
Oh, it's San Miguel. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. It's I'm a
So
man
we've
of
got
tradition.
drunk Ralph again. Nice.
Mm. It's only my first beer of the day. I'm planning on to do
We
10
we st-
more. No, I
we
actually
still
don't drink
don't
that much.
condone drinking, but we
I
would love
actually,
a sponsorship with the zero point zero San Miguel. So San Miguel, if you're
I actually like 0.0s
Yeah.
quite a lot.
I've
And
tried.
also, I
I
saw
kind of
this in.
I kind of feel like I've tried them all, and I'm always disappointed.
I have a dose of Hertog Jan at home in Holland right now, and they're really amazing. I do notice here in Spain, they don't do 0.0 at all.
Yeah.
They
That's in most countries.
drink.
It's really a
Yeah,
Dutch thing.
yeah, we're weird people. And also, I saw in the news that they didn't like that there was beer or wine on the table at all the talk shows.
Oh,
So it's
really?
like, yeah, so I'm being like going against the stream and
We are
drinking a
streaming.
beer. Cheers,
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
alcohol is the new cigarettes. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna realize more and more how bad an impact alcohol has on your health. But then again, I always think live a little.
So,
The
Live a
yeah,
little.
problem
man.
is it's social glue, as in it really is part of the lifestyle which brings people together, like with dinners, and
Yeah,
it's
I
so
think
hard to.
it's in a way good because you're like partly you're like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be in full control, and I think
Mm,
every once in a while that's a good thing to do.
Hmm.
You don't per se need alcohol for this, but yeah, alcohol can help. So
Perfect.
definitely.
And I see Josh is in the stream. Actually,
hey,
he was at ADE, Ralph, so you missed him.
I know. I saw the pictures.
Yeah, Melodramatic is here. Mako Velper, what's up? Lion Harris, welcome everyone. What I wanted to ask Jay, because you mentioned it, and I think you guys recognize this, is I was talking with a client last week, and he mentioned that most of his friends became colleague friends during the success of his career, and now he kind of was surrounded with friends from the industry, and not really talking about friends from back in the day again. How is it for you guys?
I don't know what the question really
it
is.
Well,
was a
like
yeah.
the bigger you get and the more time you spend in the music industry as an artist, the people you work with also become friends, tend to become friends in some
Oh,
like we, for
definitely.
example, like we, for
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
example.
definitely. Yeah.
So how do you experience that? Because that might be slightly different than a lot of other businesses.
No, I don't think so. Colleagues become friends, and it's just that people you talk to on a regular basis can become friends. I think it's and that goes for everything. Yeah, somebody who works in a store and stuck with a lot of the same people every day in day out. Some of them you're stuck with, you tend to like, and some of them you don't like. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just that I don't see many friends hanging with colleagues. Maybe that's it. But
yeah. Um, it's actually a good point because I also don't recognize that. Yeah,
Like
Some do, some don't. Yeah.
we say in our spare time, we tend to say, hey, let's do a barbecue, let's have a drink, are you in the studio for a coffee, like those type of things. So it really become
I do have
friendships.
to say your cooking skills are really on point. If you
Yep.
didn't have those, I think we would be together a lot less.
You have to bring something,
And
right?
yeah, Jay, I just get along the way, so it comes with the good
He's
food.
just always there. I don't know.
I'm just there, man. You can't remove me. I'm gonna be always being like, "Oh, we're having such a good time." Oh, Jay's here.
Hey, Jay. The food is nice. Hey,
Uh,
Jay.
hey, can you? We need someone else for the football team. Maybe Jay is a good option. And everybody laughs and just like not even really answers the question. Everybody just laughs and moves on.
Yeah.
We're like the first AI.
Ji.
Ji. Oh.
Nice. Anyway, as always, we there has been something going on in the group chat during the week, and one of the things that were sent was the post of David Guetta.
Yeah. I actually thinking was the former question. What unites us, what is different than other people, is that we are united through something we have a passion for, and I think that's different than somebody who works at a fabric that makes lawnmowers. You know?
Super specific.
Yeah.
But it's like I think you choose your friends, or you maybe you don't really choose your friends on based on you have the same interests. So I guess that's why
No, but
some
we can
colleagues,
talk about music for days, and that
yeah,
unites us. But
yeah.
they are there. The one likes hockey, the other likes football.
Yeah,
What actually unites them is lawnmowers and the selling of lawnmowers, but they don't really like lawnmowers.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
So
that's why some
the
colleagues you might click with because you might have a connection.
yeah, definitely, yeah. But you see it maybe a little bit less. That might be one of
But
the
Ralph, there's not
yes.
not everybody in the industry has the passion for music. That's what you where you got it wrong. some some people have a passion for money. It's a really different thing.
That's true. That's true. But that also unites because there's a lot that like the money.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
It's
Yeah.
I always say there's like um there's two types maybe of artists. There's the ones
Broke
that are
ones and
like
rich ones.
no, the passionate ones who
Oh.
really follow their passion and make that the priority. And there's like the entrepreneurs who don't really care too much about like their passion is more in like making yeah, how do you say, building themselves as an artist and looking
And
at the
building
business
success.
perspective, building
Yeah,
success. Yeah. So, but
true.
that's it's I can get along with both, and I respect both as well. But it's funny to see that everybody has their own approach, anyways. Um,
Yeah, but this is the endless, well, not necessarily a discussion, but there's always two, yeah, as you mentioned, the two types. And I also recognize when I talk to people, like, you're either someone who's super passionate about music and is not really willing to sacrifice on that. And you have the artist who is more entrepreneurial and more like commercial. And yes, the music is important, but you're flexible with that, right? It's not a hill
Mm.
you'll
Yeah,
die on.
it's not a black or white issue. It's
Yeah,
there's a lot of different shades of gray in there.
there is. True. What's up, Jamie
but
True,
Spark?
man.
the Geta post,
Yeah.
Yeah, something with Geta. I haven't
yeah.
seen it.
Um,
Jay sent it, I guess, right?
Basically, he's saying like what he does isn't DJing. It's purely entertaining, and also saying that's how the scene now works. And what I thought was interesting is there's one very interesting thing he says. I'm not exactly sure exactly the quote, but he says something like, "If you want success, that's the way it is now. You got to be an entertainer and not so much a DJ." And I think in that word, success lies the whole thing. What he's saying, because I think not all DJs are looking for the same type of success he has.
Wait, let
Uh,
me grab that post so we can check it together, and the
Check what
audience
he
also
says.
What
knows.
is success? Yeah.
The
Yeah,
audience.
what is success, and like what is success for him is being every week in Ushuaia and Vegas. Maybe for me that's not success, and I think that's where you have to always. It sounds like
Here
he's
we
kind
go.
of assuming. Oh, here we go.
our profession. One is an entertainer.
Agreed.
This is mainly what I'm doing. And the other one is a DJ, which is taking people on a journey, showing them new music they don't know from other people. When I play my show as an entertainer, 95% is my own music, almost like a concert, but in my own way. If I look at all the successful shows that we have now, and it doesn't matter what scene we're talking about, people are not dancing anymore. You have people that they come because they're enjoying the music, they're looking at the show, they want a full production. Most of the time they're filming. I don't think that's DJing. I think this is entertaining. I'm going to say something maybe a lot of people would.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like I think he says if you look at the successful shows, and I think in his head, a successful show is a show that generates a lot of revenue and is in one of the big clubs or venues. And that's to me is that it's a little bit funny because I think if I play for 300 people, like during ADE, I play small shows and they know all my music. To me, that is a successful show as well. So I think that's where the what is a successful show is something that it's not like, oh, that show sells out, so then it's a success and otherwise not. I think that's where you really have to look for yourself what you want. Yeah, what is success for you, like Ralph said. But it's interesting to me that he said if you look at the successful shows, people are not dancing. Yeah, well, then in other people's eyes, that's not a successful show. So I think it's
Maybe
a
maybe
bit
with successful
generalizing.
show he means like the big like stadiums, right? Like the very big venues.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
But like, yeah, I mean, is that then a success? If
no,
people are not
to
dancing. I
him,
mean, yeah,
because
to him, well, yeah,
as you
to him, well,
mentioned, like as you mentioned, like a 300-person show could also be very successful and very fun, and you can see people dancing. But what I do agree with, I think it was this video as well, because I guess we missed the short part, but um, I think he also mentioned that a DJ kind of tells a story throughout the whole night with his music, and that the entertainer is more about like the show and the visuals and the pyro and those type of things. Um, and I thought that was an interesting take, as in separating the two, as in the DJ in this dark cave with like smoke and a stroboscope, and just all about the music and no people videotaping or whatever, but just dancing. And the other one is more like Disneyland, as in it's an experience, right? It's something you go through, um, and kind of, yeah. I'm not sure if I make sense, but
yeah, it's that's more like
You're
giving the
not
people what
making
they want.
sense.
yeah, yeah,
I
probably.
think I think he sees like DJing is hey taking people on a journey and saying like hey here's new music and like I'm gonna surprise you. And the other one is like hey they just want Disneyland. They want this is what they
Mm.
want and you give him that. And I think he sells himself short a little bit there because when he's planning a set based on all his experience, he's also thinking about hey what can we do to surprise a little bit and here and there. So it's like he's selling himself and short saying he's not DJing, but um, yeah, in general, I think he is more an entertainer than DJ, but there's
Yeah,
still
I
definitely
mean,
DJ aspect in it.
yeah, he's definitely not wrong. I mean, we all see it happening, and there's a lot of people have a lot of issues with people not dancing. I gotta say, David, if you're listening, you always can get a few Bassjackers records. They make people dance, no problem.
Jump.
And yeah, jump, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you just see it happen. Maybe also sometimes it's kind of weird. I mean, visuals they have taken off. They look insanely good.
Mm.
Especially animes like the front runner of that,
Eric Pritz, but
Tale of Us, of Eric Pritz. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't dance either. I mean, it will look so cool. Yeah, you'll forget to dance.
Yeah.
You can ask yourself the question: do we want the nice visuals? I think especially artists like Geta, they can also choose to
Yeah,
make
that's true.
people dance.
I think that's
And
actually an interesting take, like what if you would take what as an art, if you as an artist would decide, what, I'm gonna take out the visuals, I'm gonna take out the show elements, would that automatically make people focus on the music more? I guess it does.
yeah, well, I don't know if it works that way, but one can try or think it does. And yeah, or make the visuals be more about making people dance than. And
Yeah.
now they are also made to record and made to be
Yeah.
spread.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
That's how social media works. We're all aware of it. We play that game as well. And
The guy who did my visuals, Auke Kruithof, big shout out. He, when we were designing my visuals, he's very clear about like it's smart to like because I was like sending all these examples and like a lot of like light on your screen. And he's like, yeah, but you have to imagine you're in a club. There, it shouldn't be all like pictures or all like a full animation. You want also some kind of like darkness in there, so not to distract fully
yeah,
from the from the dance floor and from the experience. But then that's what we're saying now is changing a little bit. If you go to high Ibiza and if you see videos from there, it's really like a lot of light and a lot of just it's like almost watching a sort of a movie. And I'm very curious to see what they will do in the Vegas sphere with Anima.
yeah.
So that is changing. But I what I
Well,
always like
but is
is when
Anima, is it a dance event or is it
that's yeah,
that's
that's
more
a
an
good
entertainment,
question.
right?
experience, a visual
Yeah,
experience?
Yeah,
I
that's
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
more
yeah,
entertainment.
nothing wrong with both being both or being something not being something, but yeah,
yeah.
you can ask yourself that: is the world not evolving, and
It's
is a
just a
dance
different
event still?
different thing, and the nice thing I think that there's room for it too. But what I always love is when you have great music and the visuals enhance that experience. And I think that's why Eric Pritz, I've seen him a few times live. And I remember one time in Miami, you had this like this tent with visuals like all over the top, like LED screens, and then there would be this build up of a song, this progressive song, and it would just like get brighter and brighter with some sort of orange and like patterns, not even like the hollow stuff he does now, but it was so like until the build of it was so powerful and you got like more euphoric and it got brighter and brighter and then in the drop it just like flashed and got dark. And
Yeah,
that's what I think is also amazing because then you enhance the music,
Hmm.
and you're still not exactly sure what are you like, you're not looking at a big spaceman on the back, because then yeah, also wouldn't dance. You would be looking
No, I
at the
also remember
spaceman.
Excision. He had the Robo Kitty or something, and that also was really cool. And Excision was
Excision.
really early on. Yeah, he's like a dubstep artist, I
Hmm.
think from the States. And yeah, he also 10 years ago already he made insane. He did insane shows and looks really cool. And
But
I think his visuals really added to the experience. Yeah.
I think you've got a point there, as in what I know from my when I got into the nightlife. I must say, like, you had those old school clubs, like just a dark room with music, and the DJ was somewhere in the back, and nobody was really paying attention to the DJ. Um, and I really like that because that was more about the music, and now all the elements that kind of have been added over time during the past, let's say, 20 years. Um, are all, well, can be some sort of distraction if you're there for the music. It really depends on what your goal is, because if I'm going to Tomorrowland, I want to be entertained, right? If I go to the main stage, I want to see everything explode and move, and like I that's what I expect if I go to a Tomorrowland. But if I go to a club show, me personally, I would prefer like a trimmed down version of a set and just solely be focused on the music. But it is something to think about as an artist. Like, if you add visuals or if you add anything to the show, is it a distraction, or does it add to the music? Like, does it enhance the music, as you say?
Hmm.
I think it's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
That's it.
that's it for
That's
today.
it.
Yes.
So,
Bye.
David,
Another topic that came
Yeah,
through.
I just said a quote.
Yeah, exactly. Like a statement, and let's see who agrees and who disagrees.
So my
Is
statement.
techno the new EDM?
Yeah, I said this in a group chat. Techno is the new EDM, and what I mean by it, I've seen, especially during ADE, I've seen festivals and DJs that are deemed like underground or credible, name it however you want it, and they are like making the audience clap. They're using the microphone. They're playing hits that are sang along by all the people in the crowd, and I mean, I love it, but I feel like us EDM guys, let's say it, we got shit for it 10 years ago because it was so cheesy,
They
and
took
now
our
I see
jobs.
now I see yeah, put your hands up and clap your hands, and now I see it happening in the credible scene, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's cool or something. It's to me it's just funny,
Yeah.
and all the hits being played. I mean, I never heard so many hits, and at credible. I won't name any artist name. I won't name any events, but I just see a little trend, that some underground-ish stuff is becoming more mainstream and more popular. And I just thought it was a fun trend, and I wonder where it's going. But this is the my conclusion. Techno is the new EDM.
Well, I can see where you come from, and I think I can
Brune.
slightly agree with it. As in, it is the new trend, obviously. Especially that's definitely something that became clear to me over the past few weeks. Spending a few weeks in Amsterdam, like I'm in the south of the Netherlands. I live in a bubble. I don't see many clubs anymore, so it's. I don't really have a good temperature of what's going on within the club scene. But spending a few weeks there lately, I must say it's all techno. It's all techno related, and it kind of looks like what happened to the EDM bubble in 2014, as in everything was built around something and things got crazier and crazier. Um, this is what you see with Verknipt right now, the festival. Like, seems to be like there's no boundaries. So I wouldn't be surprised if this stops somewhere within the next few years. And if we look back and say like, oh, that was a trend, like that was a big bubble.
EDM bubble. Isn't that a track of somebody?
EDM Bubble stream now. It has a lot of streams on Spotify. Mike Savella, Hardway.
Take a follow
Thanks
up,
for
techno
streaming.
bubble.
Thanks for streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think it's the same as back then. Back then, it was all big room or progressive, and you heard yet like EDC Vegas was maybe four stages, and two of the biggest stages were all of the same music, and everybody played the same music. There were even sometimes at certain festivals, also a lot in China. That was a little bit later on, but also in all parts of the world, flyers handed out of tracks you weren't allowed to play because they were played too much. Don't think it's like that. I do agree with Jopke. Like every scene, also like house and also techno. There's a lot of remakes of old successful hits being played all throughout, and some get shit for it, and some are like applauded, which is weird
Yeah,
and not consistent. But that's how
that's
it's
my point a
been
little bit.
all yeah, that's how it's been always. And yeah, I know the thing is, um, it, all the sub genres or all the like the cool kids are like this natural uh, um, outcome of an equation that's always there. They do their exact part like they're supposed to. It's they're not like uh, individually different than all the others. And then you have the people who just step into EDM and they do their part and they like the more cheesy stuff, and everything has their own reaction, and it has been like the same always, and the equation always balances out that the supposedly cool kids they bash on the shit of others, and the new ones that just enter, they divide in, they enter into a certain sphere, and then they go in. The one then goes to techno or house or whatever, and yeah, I don't think it's different from 10 years ago or something, and
Mm.
yeah, I think it all balances out in the end, and yeah, people always have their opinions ready.
I think
When
we're a
when
few.
we yeah,
I
if
think
we
we're.
would play the same record, then somebody who's new, hip, and happening, they would perceive it differently,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
it always has
True.
been.
Yeah, exactly. That always
But I think
happens.
we're a few years away from like Animals and Tsunami being played at, let's say, Awakenings or something. Few more
Mm.
years, and then it's like, oh, it's a classic, man. It's a classic.
No, but Awakenings, yeah, I mean, that's a prime example of something that was very underground. Hey, um, yeah, I actually forgot the name. That what's it called again?
Was it Rave
Zombie
Nation?
Nation.
Kernkraft,
Yeah,
Zombie
and
Nation.
Zombie
Zombie
Nation.
Nation. That's being played a lot there, and we actually got shit for it when it was like, or everybody got shit for it because if you would play that record, that's just too easy, and you can hear it now. Um, yeah, actually, that takes the specialty of a certain genre because if you don't want to use such weapons too much. But on the other hand, when it's introduced by one DJ, then the other one will do it because yeah, you're not
Yeah,
yeah, you also want those trumps to work for you, not only for the other ones.
Yeah.
And but in the end, it all comes down to the same thing. We all want to be entertained, and yeah, we shouldn't give a shit. If you're not entertained, you're not entertained, and don't be too judgmental about how others are entertained.
Point.
Does that sound wise?
that sounds
Very
very
wise.
wise.
It's the beer.
Um, let's dive into the questions. By the way, if you're watching this live, you can leave your question in the YouTube chat, and we'll pick a few of those. We have one in the Discord. Let me check. Question from EMK. Actually, a question from me, you, and Ralph. One for me, which is I've been joining this DJ Academy to learn how to DJ. Any advice how to get that first gig? Well,
Mm,
a gig is kind of the last stage that you will get as an artist, and I understand that most artists focus on those gigs at the beginning because that's the end goal. But there's a lot of steps that need to happen in between before you'll actually get booked for who you are. Like you can go to a local club and ask to play there. That's something different. But you probably won't be able to play the music you want to. You have to play the music they want to. If the
that's how
goal
you
is
learn the most, though.
Yeah, true. But if the goal is to eventually get booked for who you are and what you do, then there's a lot of steps involved in between, as in building your brand, building a fan base, releasing your music. Like a lot needs to happen, which probably will take a few years before you'll even get your first booking um, for as you as a person. So depends on what the goal is. If you just want to get booked in your local town and play what everyone wants to hear, then that can happen next as early as next week if you're lucky. But if you want to get booked because of who you are and what you do, then it requires a lot of work. Unless you guys disagree with me.
Fully
Uh,
agree.
I fully agree.
Okay. Question to Ralph. I've been wanting to make some bootlegs of songs, but every time I look at the DAW, my progress is slow. Any advice on how to speed up the process and overcome creative blocks?
Phew, that's like a tough question. um, yeah, what always happens works for me is sometimes you're just working on something and you just don't know how to proceed. And maybe it's the arrangement you don't like, or you're at a certain point, okay, like what do I do now? And yeah, just listen to other stuff and how others that you like solve their issues. I listen to a lot of different music, of different artists that are doing kind of the same thing. Um, and I listen to them a lot. Like sometimes I'm just working on something and like, okay, let's see how he or she solves this thing, and how is this track actually going? And yeah, I think looking at others actually really works.
Is that like a productivity hack that you have for yourself? So maybe you give yourself 2 hours to ramp out the whole arrangement or something?
No, there's no specific hack because every project is a little bit different. You don't even begin the same way all of the time. But if you're doing bootlegs, yeah, you kind of already have a theme. And then it's like, okay, let's say you're only using a vocal that's 8 bars, then that's one theme. But you know beforehand that's not enough to carry a whole track. You know, you need to have another theme going, whether it be the melody of the top line that you're using, played with a synth. Maybe that's not even possible. And you have to create your own melody. That's actually always more work. It's actually also we pick which bootlegs we do based on the number of themes it already has. It's like if it's like a hassle to come up with a lot of new themes for it, might as well just make an original, And yeah, let's say you're doing a bootleg of um, uh, that you have that Amelie. Then you only have that vocal to go on and nothing else. You have to
Yeah.
create a lot yourself. That's harder than like when you say make a bootleg of
I'm blue.
I'm blue dabba dee dabba da. Yeah, you can play that melody also with a synth, and that makes it more easy to do a bootleg of I'm blue dabba dee dabba da than make a bootleg of Amelie. And yeah,
This is a
that's how it
great
works.
TikTok clip.
Yeah, I'm blue dabba dee dabba da.
I'm blue, that.
I'm a scat man. Dibba
Yeah.
dibba dib 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 dib.
Beep,
Yeah,
ba,
it's
ba,
also a
ba,
good
da,
one.
ba.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you could put the lyrics in the captions.
Yeah, literally caption. Like, that might work.
Ralph has a new idea. You see him. You see his brain
No,
going.
we
You just
actually
see it
already have a
clicking.
remake. We already have a remake of Scatman, and well, we just did blah 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 of Gigi D'Agostino. Up deep
Which one?
day, dabby dip deep day, dabby dip deep day, dabby 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 day,
I don't know that
something
one.
like that.
Is that
Yeah.
also in that? Oh yeah,
I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
that
and
one.
then
Gigi.
we
Gigi.
actually searched the lyrics on internet, and it gave up Chinte,
Oh,
something like that.
up, thing, body, wing, bing,
That's
ding.
the one. Yeah.
Great vocals.
Yeah, they are. And actually cool
Yeah.
if you see how we sampled it back in the day.
Here's a question for Jay. First DJ gig won't be 100% great. What should I prepare in order for me to at least maintain 50% of the crowd on the dance floor?
Well, it all depends on where you are DJing and what time and what kind of event and what other DJs are also DJing. And this is all stuff you should find out or figure out or I think if you're the type of venue and the type of party, that's the first thing you want to figure out. You want to figure out, do I need all kinds of music? Do I only need house music? If you have that, then you can get a kind of a picture of what type of music you need. Then you want to figure out, is it going to be a commercial crowd or not? And you need options for both. In always, I'd say. So you need some hits in there. You need some mashups in there. You need some maybe unknown cool music in there, that fits the vibe. And that's all stuff you yeah, you kind of have to figure out. Maybe you can ask the one who is booking you, ask other DJs at the club, ask people who've been to that club. I once made the mistake of, I played in Brothers in Bunnik. I don't
I
know if it
played that.
still exists, but to me that was like a big thing, and it was before I was anything, because before that I only played in at Hart van Drunen. Uh, but I was like, oh, that's a big nightclub, so you play nightclub songs. So I was like downloading all this music, all this quite credible dance music that I thought was gonna be very good there, and then I start, and all the crowd leaves, and after half an hour, the resident comes up, and he's like, "Yeah, it's not going very well, huh? It's not going very well." I'm like, "No, what am I doing?" He's like, "Well, this is a very commercial crowd, and like you're not playing any hits." And it was kind of funny, and well, I felt like shit, of course, but the guy was actually very nice, and but then I realized I didn't do any real research about that club. So I just figured it's a big club, so they play club music. No, I had to do some more digging. I had to ask my friend who also played there way more about what type of music do they play there. And I still do this now. If I like last Sunday, I actually had to substitute for Danik in Club Prime in Amsterdam because he last minute couldn't make it. So they asked me for Grimmix and Friends. And I immediately my head goes to okay, Club Prime, and I was there last year, which is the luck. But then I'm like, oh, Club Prime. I know what the DJ booth looks like. I know what the clubs looks like. So that's already giving me an idea of what to play. And then you think of the crowd that was there last year, and you kind of go on that. Like, I need a bit commercial, but it's ADE, so I'm playing a bit more my own stuff, and I can play a bit more new stuff. It's all those things that come into play.
Hmm.
Um, so it comes down to just research, and if you're at the gig, just enjoy it, man. If you've done your preparation, that's all you can do. If it then goes to shit, don't worry. We've all been there. But just try to enjoy it and show that you enjoy the music that you're playing. Because this also is a bit of a long rant now, but one of my first in Drune, one of my first gigs outside of the bar was like this event locally, and they were like it was like they had a DJ stage and some other art things. It was very a local thing, but there were like 5 people maybe in that hall, and I was DJing, and I was like so focused on DJing that afterwards my dad said to me, he said, "Yeah, it looked terrible, man. You're not even having fun." And like he said, "Yeah, the DJ before you, he was really showing like he was having fun. Like, and you were just standing there like, like." And then I realized, like, yeah, but I was having fun, but I wasn't showing it, and I was so nervous.
Yeah,
And that's such an important thing as well as a DJ. You don't have to move like, let's say, Martin Garrix moves because he's like naturally very energetic, but show in some way or form that you like yourself what you're doing. You like what you're doing.
that's actually
Like what you're playing.
that's
Um,
actually part of the most of the feedback I always got from people. What they liked about my sets is that they just really felt the energy of because they saw me enjoying it.
yeah,
That was catching on them. That they felt
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
like I think that's also within people. We like watching people who are very passionate about something.
yeah,
Mhm.
And if you are behind the stage delivering your music passionate, and you can do that in a Martin Garrix way, like jumping up and down, or you can just do it on your own way, whatever you prefer. But as long as you deliver the message, people kind of tend to feel that. It's a certain energy that you bring into the room. It's a good tip.
yeah,
Enthusiasm sells, and it's also why I'm not on stage. It will look very boring, and
Self knowledge.
enough said.
Yeah. Okay, question in the chat. Blah, blah, blah. What would be different ways to get playlisted on Spotify outside of Submit Hub?
If you knew, you would know.
Well, you can pitch to Spotify directly. That's something you
Yeah,
can.
but who knows how it works, man? Don't get me started. It's a shit world.
We
We
have,
just
You
you just
just don't
open a
know.
can. We just open a can of frustration.
yeah, we
No,
have drunk
it's a
Ralph on the
it's a
phone. Let's go.
coincidence game, man. They yeah, people. I mean, they're a bit of gatekeepers. They're all about data. It's data driven. It's not about the music. If you're a no name, it will be harder to get the playlists. You either have to get some virality outside of Spotify and sell it to Spotify that it will be in their best interest to give a spotlight on your track. Um, but I mean, just think of it. Not all the big DJs make great music all the time, but their music will get a spotlight all the time,
Hmm.
and it's through the data that they will lose the spotlight. So if it's a shit track, it won't do so well because they will lose the spotlight at some time, at some point, because people just will skip the track. Um, Spotify wants people to be on their platform the most of the time, and yeah, most of the people aren't invested in music. They just yeah, they scratch the surface, and that's why bigger names will sell easier than the smaller names. Yeah, and it's how it works. You have to work hard to become one of the big names, but it's also, as you notice, a little bit frustrating. Because if you do get the virality on your tracks, yeah, it doesn't say anything. And then what's also frustrating is when you see a lot of your own fan base play the track, because that's also not always the case. But when you do see it, it's at that point that Spotify will say, think like, okay, let's playlist and see how other people will react to it. But it just makes you tired, you know. You have to prove so many things before you will get the favors. And whereas others who made it at some point, or I don't know what, they will get those favors more easily, and that will then the status quo of people who are big will stay big. Yeah, that will stay in place that way.
It's a
Yeah,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
yeah, it's how it works. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a big artist and don't get a lot of plays on your track, man, you fail big time, to be honest.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like
Although, yeah,
It's
if
like
you like
Mike
the track
Posner.
yourself, it's okay too.
It's like
Mike
Mike
Posner.
Posner from Took a Pill to Ibiza. He said like when he just started out, he had like a triple platinum record. So it wasn't too much about streams yet, but sales streams kind of same.
Was that
And
before I
then
took a pill?
well, some of his records, one of his records
Hmm.
went triple platinum or something. And then the next record and the one after that went only one time platinum. And then the label was like, this is the decline. So they kind of like stopped paying real attention to him. And that's the same with, uh, um, yeah, like Spotify. If you score a hit and it's like the next one doesn't do as well, it's always a decline. And then they look at the numbers and go, oh well, that's a decline. So that's and then it just
Yeah.
can go downhill from there.
You
You
know,
know, and to be honest, I can't even blame Spotify. I get it; they also have a business to run, and they're not the promoters of music. What I do, are what I'm really displeased about is whenever a track of yours does well, there's a lot of people of the distribution, the label, whatsoever, standing in line to say, "Hey, look at this success! Look how well we did." And when it doesn't
Proud
do
of our
so well,
team.
hey, and then they're quiet, and it's about, yeah, the weather was not in favor of the track, and yeah, this and it's all these external things.
Yeah.
That's and but it's just a coincidence game, especially when you're not one of those. I mean, we make a bit of harder style music. It's not per se in favor of streaming. We get that, I know it. And so if Spotify thinks, hey, we're not going to playlist Bassjackers, or may only in those lists, we're a bit of a niche, and then you get not so many streams. I get it, but it's just the labels take 60% or more of the chunk of the pie of the revenue, and I cannot rectify that anymore because um, it's such a coincidence game. Then you
hmm.
might just, let's see, here it is, self-release, and
Oh,
Hey, there we go.
uh,
I
and
missed my I
yeah,
missed
and
my cue.
yeah,
it's too long. That sample of the clap. Oh, you can stop it
I
now.
can stop
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But they do have a fan base, most of the labels, and it's always wise to tap into that. But I wouldn't sign a how do you call it, an exclusive deal with a independent label,
Yeah.
No.
because they cannot guarantee you that they will get the streams.
No, exactly.
and
It
not
just
much.
The amount of clients that I have who come in and say like, I finally signed that spin in, for example, after years of working to get there. I finally signed there, and now I'm left with this 10,000 streams on my track. I'm like, what happened?
yeah, okay. Um, I get it, but still, I mean, to cut some slack for spinning or whatever label, yeah, that's not how it works. And spinning would only be in the wrong if they would sell you that it works to sign with them and you will get the streams. But
Hmm.
they also just don't know. And in my opinion, the whole system that you sign it away for 12 years is just wrong.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't get streams, they will just do nothing about the track anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe
Oh,
Oh,
Ralph's recording stopped due to an
Bravo
incoming
stop. But I
call.
think you. Oh, there he's back. Is he back?
whatever TikTok, am I back?
Yeah, did you get
Yeah,
an
now you are.
incoming call?
Yeah, I got an incoming
You
call. Yeah.
said something about if the streaming doesn't work, and then what?
No, let's say you sign away a track. It's for a minimum of 12 years, usually, maybe even 15 or 20. And if you don't get the streams, they will do nothing about the track anymore. Maybe it will resurface at some point in a dumb TikTok or whatever, and it will become a hit. Um, but that's something you don't know. And I'm actually convinced that my music will work. And let's say a year later, some music is just more timeless than the other. But then your rights are gone. You can invest yourself in the music to be heard. But why? I mean, they getting a 60% chunk of the money. And that's just a wrong dynamic, in my opinion. And that has to be renewed. That if a
Yeah.
track, I tried it already, but didn't work. But if a track will fail, or you get a performance quote in there, like, okay, can you guarantee me to get 100,000 streams in 1 year? And if they say yes, and they will make it, they can have the
Yeah.
licensing for 12 years. But if they don't make it, give us back the license and we can
There
market
is
it
a.
ourselves.
I think partly the reason is a financial one because I think there's always like certain revenue streams and also in publishing that they're not really allocated to certain tracks and there's just money being left on the table. And then the more tracks you have in your catalog, the more part of that chunk you will get. And I think that
Mm,
might be part of big labels just keeping all their catalog in, even though it doesn't bring in any money.
mm.
Um,
Yeah,
there's
and
always,
also the fact you just don't know. Something can
yeah,
resurface at
also that,
let's
yeah.
say 4 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But yeah, I
know,
agree with you, Ralph. It should be like, hey, you tried your best spinning or whatever label for 2 years. It didn't bring any revenue. Now let me take
yeah.
back control and I'll do it myself.
yeah. Because to be
But
honest, spinning, I mean, our best streaming tracks are spinning tracks, Wrong or Right and Eternity. So can't badmouth spinning. To be honest, we have a
no,
good.
no, no. It's not so much
Yeah,
spinning. It's more like the industry has is working in a way that could change or would be better for artists if it would change.
Yeah,
definitely.
true.
Yeah, you know that when we got in the DJ Mag, we also got a question which was interesting, by the way, and that was, should producers be rewarded more?
For
And yeah, for their work. I actually
okay.
thought it was interesting because for me that's a non-issue. Apparently, it might be an issue because or else DJ Mag wouldn't ask it. But yeah,
Producers, I mean ghost producers or
yeah, Ghost, Go, or yeah,
hmm. Yeah,
and
well, it depends on how they make money, right? For you, it's probably different than for many other ghost producers, but
definitely, I do. I mean, sometimes I'm also a little bit fed up when we do a co-production that
But it's the
yeah,
same.
it's
It's
always a
also
hassle to get your money.
it's always the way the world works too, though. Like the nurses in the hospital
yeah,
deserve maybe the most money, but the CEO of the hospital gets way more, and he doesn't even see patients, for example.
Mm.
So it's partly the way the world works, but that doesn't mean that we should still keep talking about it. And so it is also by DJ Mag. That's a good good one of them to just
good question.
bring that into the
Definitely,
conversation a
yeah.
little bit.
By the
for
way,
sure.
congrats, Ralph, entering what was it, 44?
44,
Where's the
yeah,
claps
yeah,
now?
No, dude, I'm missing my cues all the time.
yeah. Oh, I'm very happy with it. No, I'm very happy with it, and it's we were 31 last year, so we actually dropped 13 places. But I still actually like being in the producer top 100, and this one kind of gives a consistency in there. We're doing something right, and yeah, very happy with that.
Nice, congrats.
I dropped
Although it's
out,
weird,
man.
yeah. Oh,
What?
you dropped out?
I dropped
Fuck.
out. Yeah, man.
Oh, then unfortunately we have to let you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're not
yeah,
more part of the. You have to
Yeah,
change my bio everywhere.
that's
No, I
it.
was
Yeah.
number 100 last year, and I mean, this year I wasn't also. I didn't release much. I didn't tour much, also because of my second kid. So it's also kind of a thing where I expected it, and I'm what really am happy with. I'm super motivated now in the
yeah.
studio. So next year top 10 is the predictions
It's the
that
goal. Yeah.
Bold
yeah.
move,
No,
bold
I
move.
do. My dad actually asked me like he looked at the top 101 producer list and the top 100, and Martin Garrix was number one, of course, and I think he is one of the most popular one, if not the most popular one. And then he asked me like, why is he somewhere number 80 in the producer list, and the guy who's number one there, John Summit, he didn't even heard of. And but I said like that, he's the coolest kid right now, and he does really well. And I would go to a show of him. I'm a fanboy. And but it's actually funny how that works. Like
Yeah.
John Summit was like number 80 in the DJ Mag, and that gives. But I like the existence of both lists, and maybe we need even a third one for something like best live.
Yeah, DJ skills or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what, and but I do
Best
like, and that's
social
why
media.
Yeah,
Best content.
best TikTok DJ.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's just funny that that list, because David Guetta is I think number two in both of them, or
Hmm.
yeah, he's on top of the list, and so sometimes your productions and the music you make doesn't mean that it will get you the popularity and or the
True.
support you
I
get,
guess
and
it's fun because popularity isn't really a thing you can put into numbers, which is always funny to me because John Summit may be the biggest name at the moment, and then in one of the biggest popularity contests, DJ Mag, he's number 80. So it doesn't really mean per se anything. It means that a lot of people voted for Garrix. More for Garrix. But that's what I also like. It means that for me as well, like I'm not in the list, but it doesn't mean I'm not relevant, and that's I
no,
think the
no,
biggest
definitely. I mean,
take on.
because guys like Maupe or John Summit, they should be higher than us. Let's be honest. Dom Dolla, they're on fire, and I love them. As I look up to them, well, what they do right now,
But they are
quite a lot.
below you now.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, but still, I'm very happy, and also that we got both of the or the both of the results, because that actually shows that okay. And we're also making a little bit of harder music, so it's a little bit harder for us to get in a top 100 one list. And we also got the DJ Mag, so I'm happy we have both, and it's not a simple popularity thing. Also, it's also just hard work
Just hard work and sweats.
that got results. Yeah, and it's
True.
nice, and I'm very happy with it and enjoying it.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it for now. Is there anything to
No.
shill?
No,
Um.
loads.
Well, I was in the supermarket. No, I don't.
No?
Got nothing.
San Miguel, it's very nice.
San Miguel,
We can,
okay, nice.
yeah, we're searching for the 0.0 version now, and there's always something to show. We have a lot of new releases coming up. Next week we have the one with the alarm clock, Wake the Fuck Up, it's called. It's
Dude,
been
in my
viral on
experience,
TikTok.
that track has been out for 4 months now.
No, no, we actually played it the first time. Might even be Tomorrowland.
Last year.
Ages ago.
No, this year. This year, blah blah blah. I actually posted a clip this week of Marlon playing it at Lake Dance last year, May. That was 2023. There was one of the first versions of the track was made, and it got released right now, last 2 weeks ago.
I've seen that clip of that
So,
alarm clock too many times, man. I'm already done
yeah,
with the song.
I
yeah.
do have something
It,
to show. Another shameless plug. My alias Eggboy has a new track out since the 18th. It's called Feels Good, and we're number 17 trending on Instagram Reels.
Already? Oh shit.
Hooray.
Nice.
But yeah, that's funny. I think my last EP, everything went. Oh, now I'm out of focus. Here's the focus. It's not working
It's
now.
gone. Yeah.
But last EP, everything was in the popular list in Instagram,
Yeah.
and we're continuing that streak. So it's pretty fun.
Awesome, man.
Nice. Nice.
When
Nice.
do we get our first Eggboy show?
Tomorrowland Main Stage 2025. Lo-fi,
That
the
would be
first
very fun.
lo-fi hip hop
Yeah.
artist on the
Opening
main stage.
opening the main stage in
Put
lo-fi.
your fucking hands up! Ding, ding, ding. Hands up, hands up!
That would be fun. Anyway, everyone who's listening right now, if you're not a part of the Artist Coaching Discord yet, make sure to join the community. The link should be in the description. We have a community going on there with 543 people, DJs, musicians, artists from all over the world.
We're still in the 500s, man.
Yeah, it's hard, but
Also,
yeah.
if you're listening,
Also.
rate this episode, like this episode, follow us on whatever platform you're
Comment,
listening on.
share it. Get
Comment,
some more
share.
people in here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I know there's a lot of
gonna,
people making music.
what we're gonna do
You
as
know what
well,
I'm
by
gonna
the way.
send back to everybody who sends me a promo?
Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, go to the Discord.
Yeah, like just auto reply. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
think a podcast is low. How do you say low? Easy
Bar-
to start. It's
Low
easy
bar
to
of
follow.
entry.
Yeah.
So
True.
that's would be
Okay.
smart.
Hey, there he goes.
He thinks it's 3 o'clock. Job is ready for
3 o'clock,
afternoon
jongen.
beers.
Overtime, overtime. Hey guys, see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.